Hello everybody, this is Mr. Rob and welcome to another video on the channel where we talk about an upcoming sports game that has a release on the horizon, and today is a big one because today we are talking MLB The Show 25. The next AAA sports title game will be released in the next couple of months, usually sometime in March. So I thought this was a good time to go ahead and kind of talk early about the game, get some feelers out there, start to get the excitement level going a little bit, especially because baseball has been a staple here on the channel. We've had a lot of baseball series. We've had a lot of fun with it, including our longest ever baseball franchise we've done currently going on in MLB The Show 24, which is actually the video that you're watching here on your screen for those new to the channel. If you are new, make sure you drop a like and you subscribe down below, especially if you're into franchise content. We have a lot of good series here on the channel. And we're going to talk about MLB The Show 25. Now, not a lot of news has come out about this game. Now, I am releasing this video on a Monday, and I'm recording this actually on Friday, so technically we could get some news over the weekend, but I don't necessarily anticipate it. At the time of this recording, we haven't even got the cover athlete yet, and there's been some rumors as to who it is. I don't really want to start up those rumors, really. But I do have one article that I am referencing in today's video that we're going to talk about throughout the video, and it's a article from Sports Gamers Online. They're usually one of the top sort of video game sports websites that I go to. They have an article out written by Brandon Satterwhite about some of the details that have been revealed for MLB The Show 25. So that's what we're going to go through today. Then I'll talk briefly about my plans for the upcoming game and touch on it. Now, if you are interested in also reading this article on your own, I am going to include a link down in the description from it. But let's get started with the article. And the first thing it mentions, this talks about, is with MLB The Show 25 coming out, is that the team at San Diego Studios, the developers of the game, have been listening to feedback. And it says a quote that MLB The Show 25 will be designed to feel like a fan appreciation version of the series, which I think is a very interesting quote. Because in my opinion, I think the baseball game is one of the best games in the sports world. You know, I know videos or games like Madden and EA Sports College Football get a lot of views, and then NBA 2K gets lauded for having such a deep sort of dynasty franchise mode, my NBA, whatever you want to call it. But I feel like MLB The Show has some of the best core gameplay at its core. Now, I'm not saying it's perfect. There's plenty of problems with MLB The Show, in my opinion. But I do enjoy, I think, playing this game the most. You know, including in this athletics series we've been doing. We're in our third season, and we've been well underneath 500 for all 3 years. But I'm having a great time with it. Now, there are times during the gameplay where I do get frustrated and I do get annoyed. But overall, it's been a great experience. I think we've built a nice world, and I actually enjoy the game at its heart. So interesting to see this will be a fan appreciation version of the series. I'm interested to see what that means. The next thing it touches on is some of the new legends that are coming to the game. Now, I am more of a franchise mode kind of guy, so I know a lot of this stuff will be for those who like to play online, who like to play in Diamond Dynasty. So this doesn't really affect me too much, but it is cool to see some of the guys from the past start to embrace and get into the game. And it says some of the guys that have a great chance of being featured this year are Nomar Garciaparra and Roger Clemens, who I think are really good additions. Now, Roger Clemens is one of the best pitchers of all time, but has a very, shady, sort of controversial past in his game. But you can't deny that he's a great pitcher. And I like that MLB The Show is starting to incorporate some of these guys that were a part of that controversial steroid era. I mean, we've seen Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa embrace the game. And I think Roger Clemens would be a nice one as well. Then you have Nomar Garciaparra, which, in my opinion, is my childhood. Is one of my favorite players that I had as a childhood. I thought he had a super cool name. He played shortstop. I didn't play shortstop, but I remember collecting baseball cards back in the day, and whether I got a Nomar Garciaparra Red Sox card or a Cubs card, I always liked collecting those. So he was kind of like one of my guys that I liked at my core watching him play. So it's good to see that he might get into MLB The Show. So some of the names that might make it are Alex Rodriguez and Manny Ramirez, two other guys who have a very colorful history, but I think would be very worthy additions to the game. I mean, A-Rod, regardless of his pay-rod or his steroid sort of history, is a great baseball player. And same thing with Manny Ramirez. He was such a fun player to watch at times. So I think those would all be great additions. It's good to get more legends in the game, in my opinion. Now, another name that has been rumored, which there's been no talk of it actually being in the game, is Barry Bonds. And I think Barry Bonds would be a amazing addition to the game. He's the home run record holder in baseball. Yes, it was during the steroid era, but you got to have that guy in the game. I mean, I think Barry Bonds would be a lot of fun, especially since back in the day, he wasn't even really a part of the normal game. I remember when he used to play for the Giants, and he had Reggie Stocker as the left fielder for San Francisco, and you had to pretend that he was Barry Bonds. So it'd be cool to actually get Barry Bonds for legit in the game. And I'm looking forward also to what these face scans will look like for some of these players, because I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think MLB The Show 25 is coming out on the older generation of consoles. I don't think it's coming out on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, which in my opinion is more than overdue. I mean, no hate to if you play on PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, but I mean, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series S or X are they're the current generation. Those are the consoles that the games should be made for, in my opinion. Now, I'm not going to go too much down that rabbit hole, but I do think opening up that sort of space for development could get some amazing face scans. Because in my opinion, I do think MLB The Show is a little behind in that regard. So I'd like to see what those players look like. But that's enough talk with the legends. The next thing the article mentions is Road to the Show. Now, Road to the Show is something that I've kind of wanted to dabble in a little bit more in this series, maybe when the game first comes out, doing like a little mini series. It says that your path to the big leagues will be greatly enhanced. Now, a lot of people have been talking that could be high school, which I think would be a lot of fun if you could play as a high school or a college team. You know, we haven't had college baseball really in quite some time. You know, there was a college baseball game that came out in the 2000s, but since then, there's been no mention of it. If you want to get college teams in the game, you got to go into the locker or the vaults and make them yourself, which I have incorporated into my series, and it adds some depth. So I always like when you can go a level deeper, and it seems like Road to the Show will be doing that. Storylines, not really much here to talk about with storylines. Obviously, the Negro Leagues has been such a prevalent part of the series, and I love that. I think it's awesome. I like to play that sometime in my free time. Not everything I like to do has to be recorded in sort of broadcast, so I mean, I'm glad that's still in the game. That seems to be a focal point. Franchise, unfortunately, has like 2 sentences in this article, and it's kind of, not a good thing. The only thing the article mentions about franchise is going to receive some updates to off-season activities, including contract negotiation, free agency, and trades are set to receive some improvements, which in my opinion just seems like kind of like, a cover-up, which means we're not really doing anything to this. So, yes, there might be like a minor change to the off-season, but I would not expect anything in franchise mode this year. A pipe dream of mine is that year-to-year saves would come back at some point. I obviously don't think that's going to happen. That was one of my favorite, if not my most favorite feature about the old school MLB The Show games, is being able to carry your franchise from one game to the other. Maybe it's a dream that comes back one day, but it doesn't seem like it's going to, and it'll be The Show at 25. And then finally, the last thing we touched on is the release dates. Manzik, who is the Forbes article writer that this one article references, so the article is referencing another article, says the exact prediction is Friday, March 21st, 2025. Now, that has not been released in any sort of capacity. That's just this guy's guess. But I think that's a very good guess, because that's about the time period the past couple of MLB The Show games have come out. It seems like they're settling on that mid-March window now that they're starting to get back into the cycle post-COVID era. But that's an exciting time, because that means it's less than 2 months away, and we could be getting to MLB The Show at 25, which kind of brings my talk to the end of the video. It's what are we going to do with MLB The Show at 25? We haven't had a new series here on the channel since last July when we started the South Carolina Gamecocks dynasty. I briefly started a Packers franchise. I went 3 episodes, canceled it, didn't do NBA, didn't do NHL, didn't do FIFA. So it's been a long time since we've had a new series here on the channel, and I want to say thank you to those who have stuck with me these past 2 series. I know, it's been getting longer, and usually you start to drop views towards the back half, but a lot of my videos are doing better, and we're still growing. So I appreciate you guys for sticking in the series. As far as my plans for MLB The Show 25, I'm a little bit up in the air, to be honest, especially after reading this article. So I really want to know your guys' opinions down in the comments section, and we'll talk about this more in the coming weeks. But as you know, I'm 3 seasons into my athletics franchise here on MLB The Show 24, and I've had a great time with it. I feel like we built a very good sort of universe with trades and with our team and moving them to Sacramento, and we're actually getting ready to move to Las Vegas. And when I originally planned my athletics franchise, I thought maybe it'd be about 4 seasons, which I thought we could get through. Looks like we're going to get to about 3.5 if we jump right into season number 4, right when this year ends. But it's looking like this team is a long-term project. We are nowhere near ready to challenge for any sort of, division or wild card spot even. And I think this team could realistically take 5 to 6 years to really get through their most. And that would be also the time we'd be moving to Las Vegas. So there's a lot of exciting stuff happening with the athletics franchise, and I don't know if I necessarily want to end it yet. I think we're in a very middle spot. But with MLB The Show 25 coming out, that's another baseball series. And, I could continue the athletics franchise while also doing a MLB The Show 25 franchise. But that's a lot of baseball here on the channel. And having 2 separate games going at the same time could confuse some viewers. And when a new game comes out, that's your chance to really grow. And like I said, we haven't had a new series since July. So we haven't really had that chance to really spike ourselves and grow exponentially in quite some time. So I'm really on the fence with this one. Please let me know in the comments section below your thoughts. Do you want to see a new MLB The Show 25 series? Do you want to see MLB The Show 25 and 24 going at the same time? Or do you want to just continue to focus on the athletics franchise? I won't go too deep into the A's talk today. I have had some thoughts about how I could speed up series quicker, but that will be in a future video. But I just wanted to also, I'm starting to get to the 12-minute mark, so I'm starting to talk a little bit longer. But please let me know. That's going to do it for this video. I just kind of wanted to get you guys excited for MLB The Show 25 with it right around the corner, and give me your opinions down in the comment section what you'd like to see in the future with baseball content here on the channel. But thank you guys so much for listening to me today. If you enjoyed what you listened to, or you enjoy the gameplay in the background, or sort of the series I've talked about in this video, please drop a like and subscribe down below, especially if you want more franchise and baseball content. This is Mr. Rob, and I'll see you in the next one.